So I didn't really get a chance to catch up with you. I'm sorry.
Let me turn on my camera.
Hey,
Hello.
there's some eye candy for the group. Very nice.
I thought I was eye candy.
For the ladies. You're for the ladies and she's for the guys. But hey, no, so I couldn't see you. I was downstairs on the second floor, and then we got tied up until 11 o'clock. So it was just the way it works in probate. You only have all the control that you'd like to have.
Yeah,
right?
ours didn't start till like 11 as well. It took long, and we were 9:30 session.
So when I was just asked a question, is the probate court back open? I think the answer is pretty much fully. Yeah. What do you think?
Yes, we had, for the house I was bidding on, we had 7 different groups, agents and investors there together. So it was about
Woo.
17 people. They kicked, I think they said the capacity was only 13. So they kicked a couple of people out.
Yeah, probate court's fun. So I was there where I was. We had another overbidder, and we were able to beat them off and get victory. So it worked out good for us.
Yeah.
So good. Well, look, thank you. Let's get this kicked off here. It's after 3 o'clock. Welcome to our Tuesday real estate investment meetup group. I'm Bill Gross. I'm the host. I organize this every Tuesday. I used to go to a real estate investment group in the Valley on Wednesdays at the Sizzler till COVID, and it was a really important part of my business. I think that working with new investors and seasoned investors, the importance of getting together and finding new people for the seasoned people to mentor and vice versa, and me being a broker to get in the middle of that activity. So I host this every Tuesday at 3 o'clock. My name is Bill Gross, and while you're welcome to reach out to me or share my contact info, I also offer I'm a specialist in probate real estate. And so I offer what I call free stuff or good stuff for anybody who's interested for more probate focus generally. I do a meeting on Thursdays, and I have some cheat sheets, and I have some discount coupons if you're gonna get data. I don't sell data. I don't sell coaching. I don't want to sell anything more than a house. I'm a real estate broker, and I make my commission one transaction at a time. But if you want more information about me and what I'm doing, if you text good stuff to that number, you'll get back a response. I'll kind of give you kind of all the things that I'm working on. The 213-460-2577. Really excited to have today Sean Pan as our special guest. And I try to make this event where we learn and improve and bring in good vendors when they can from time to time to help us with a business. Sean is a lender, and I think one of the things I get asked a lot of questions from time to time about lending. I met Sean on the Bigger Pockets network or Bigger Pockets website. So please welcome Sean Pan. How you doing, Sean?
Hey, Bill. Thanks so much for having me with your meetup group today.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, and then a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm a real estate investor based in the Bay Area, California. I flip homes primarily here in the Bay Area, and I own some properties out of state over in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm also a podcast host and a meetup group leader like myself. And like Bill said, I actually met him through connecting with other meetup group lenders over on Bigger Pockets. So very happy to be here. And I guess for today's meetup, I can talk about my day job, which is as a hard money lender. So helping other real estate investors fund their fix and flip projects.
Yeah. So tell me, let's talk first to the brand new investor. What's it like for somebody to get their first deal financed?
Yeah. So can you say the question one more time?
What's it like for somebody to get their first deal or second deal financed? How is that different?
Yeah. So, I mean, if they're going to get their first deal financed, honestly, it's all a very straightforward process where they call us and they say, hey, we need a hard money loan for a fix and flip deal. We're going to ask them some basic questions like tell us the property address, your purchase price, your rehab costs, and the ARV or after repair value. So for the hard money lending side, it's a little bit different from a traditional loan. Whereas a traditional loan, we're going to look at your debt to income ratio, your income, your taxes, etc. Whereas hard money, we look more at the property itself and is there value. So that's why we ask so many questions about the property up front. And on the credit side, we do want to see that you have at least a 620 credit score and enough in liquid funds to pay for your down payment, your closing costs, rehab costs, and have a 6-month buffer for interest payments.
Okay. So I've been in this business since 1986. What I've seen, and tell me you have a different perspective and angle in the business than I do. I've never seen a better time for people to get money to finance deals ever in my career. It seems like if there's a good deal, there's a way to get it financed or put together. Is that what you see?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was definitely better last year before COVID. Pre-COVID, we were able to do like up to 90% of purchase price and 100% of financing. We could finance like new construction projects. But then since COVID, things have become more conservative. So right now for newer investors, we're going to be limited to 80% of purchase price and 80% of the rehab cost.
So still 20% down on a flip is still pretty good for a first-time investor. Historically, that's a fantastic deal.
So Sean, I've got a question about that. Is that when you say first-time investors, do you mean first-time borrower, or do you mean the first time person's done a flip?
Yeah, so
I did my first flip with all cash.
Right. So we look at experience in terms of how many properties they have had in their name on title over the past 3 years. So if you own a bunch of rental properties but never done a flip, that still counts towards your experience.
Okay.
There you go. So Avram did his first. Avram's a good friend of mine, and he had his significant other, his better half, debatable, depends on the day of the week. His wife, our good friend, my wife's probably best friend, decided of all places in the world to flip property in Kansas. So he's experienced, and Sean might be somebody you talk to about financing. So Sean,
Sure.
Tell me about part of this is the technical part about finding a deal, but there's also a certain emotional, mental side. When people go from zero to their first deal or second deal, what do you see as that barrier? When you see people who are successful, what do you see they do that gets through that?
It's a really good question. And I mean, as a flipper myself, I understand that frustration, right? Like when you do your first deal, it's very, very scary. Even though we can do up to, back then it was 90% LTV. So you only need to come up with 10% of the down payment. For most people, like especially in the Bay Area, 10% on $1 million home is still $100,000. Nowadays, it's $200,000 for 20% down, plus your rehab costs. So you're talking about, maybe $250,000 to $300,000 all in. It's pretty scary for a lot of people who have maybe saved their entire lives just to come up with that little nest egg. But again, because the price points are higher here, the rewards are potentially higher too. So, I know many people in my own personal network who do $100,000 profits per flip. And then after doing a few of those, they gain the confidence. They think, okay, yes, I have to put down maybe $250K, but I know I'll get back a certain amount of return. And they are able to be a little bit more picky with the deal that they take. And so they know that, all right, this one is a pretty much sure thing, or my downside is reduced. So I think just by having the experience and by seeing more deals, they become more confident and they're able to actually move forward and make that purchase.
Very good. So feel free to jump in, anybody here. Sean, like as you said, is a flipper himself. He's a podcaster, and he's a hard money lender is his daytime job. So he brings kind of a full range of experience. He's also in Northern California. Sean, you invest, you said in Jacksonville, Florida?
That's right. Yeah, my buy and hold properties are in Jacksonville.
And now my best friend happened to move, or one of my best friends moved from up the street to me to Jacksonville. What is it about Jacksonville that you found so attractive?
So it's funny, like when I was first getting started to invest in real estate, it was about 5 years ago, I really wanted to do the whole buy and hold strategy. But like I'm sure many of you guys have experienced, there are so many different markets that you could potentially invest in. Which is the one that you're really going to go to? But just by going to these different meetup groups like yours that you're hosting today, where people talk about these different cities, like here are some cities that people are always talking about. And from this list of like top 10 cities to invest in, Jacksonville is always the one of the few that was up there that I felt comfortable investing in. So, I mean, some other cities are up there were in like really cold areas where there's snow. And I've heard about, leaking pipes and breaking pipes, whatever. And I didn't want to be there. And I thought, Florida is a similar climate to what we have in California, so I'll give that one a shot. And of course, the price to rent ratio was very good, especially compared to what we have here in California.
Sure. So you never heard about the hurricanes, I guess.
So that's the funny thing. The year after I bought the properties, like almost every year after that, they've had record-breaking hurricanes. So luckily, my properties dodged all those hurricanes.
Yeah, I think Jacksonville, you kind of missed it. I lived in South Florida for 2 years. So when you say the weather's like it is here, well, except for the hurricanes, a little big difference, but no earthquakes, I guess. So
And you pick your poison, right? Like up here, we have fires and earthquakes.
yeah, exactly. Well, there you also have alligators and snakes.
Yeah.
My whole life in California, I never had a snake in my house. In Florida, we had snakes come in our house kind of regularly.
Yeah.
That's a whole another thing. And then alligators in our backyard. That's a whole nother story. Okay, good. So, so your daytime job is hard money lending, but you do investing. Did you make that choice on purpose, or how did that happen?
So it's pretty funny. I actually was an engineer at first. I went to school at UCLA for electrical engineering, got my master's degree.
Whoa. Hold it. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sean. I'd say it's been a pleasure, but I have to let you go now. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. You can tell where I went to school.
Yeah. That's right. I have a lot of good friends. I went to USC too, and we do business together nowadays.
Nice.
But in any case, we, I don't know, after working as an engineer for a while, I felt like this wasn't really where I wanted to be in, 30 plus years. I looked around and saw all my coworkers, and they were not very satisfied with where they were in life. And, when people talk, they kind of tell you how they regret doing things in life and how they should have taken more risk when they were younger. And so that led me to just joining these more, trying different businesses. And so real estate was one of the ones that really kind of took off for me. And actually, it was from flipping houses that I met my hard money lender Connect. And then after I left my full-time job as an engineer, I had built up the podcast, the Meetup groups, and the YouTube channel. And she was like, hey, you have a group of people. You have a group of people that, come to your meetups, and you could potentially help them finance their projects. And that's actually how I got to work with this company as a hard money lender.
Nice.
So my day job is great because all I do is call my friends every day.
Nice.
Yeah.
I kind of a similar background. I started in lending as well. I wanted to learn real estate investing, and I figured if my day job was lending, then I would know the ins and outs and learn the process. And it's true. I think that when I'm working during the day on what I want to accumulate over time. So excellent.
Right. And personally, it's been very helpful too, because I get to see a lot of different deals come in. So now I have a better eye for it as well as an investor.
Right.
Okay, here's what properties in this area should be selling for, and
Right.
how much you should buy them for to then sell at a higher ARV.
Right. Deal flow is important. So as an investor, question I ask a lot of investors is, how many deals do you look at for each one that you buy?
Oh my goodness, a lot. So I have a lot of friends who do a lot of cold outreach. They do direct mail or they do cold calling. And I think the people who do direct mail, at least in the Bay Area, on average, are spending around $19,000 in direct mail pieces to get one solid deal. But on average, they're making around $70,000 per deal. So the numbers work out.
Any idea how many you have to go through to find one?
Yeah, well, I mean, for $19,000 worth of direct mail pieces, you multiply that by 2, that's like 38,000. So 38,000 connections, and then consistent follow up with the ones who actually do reach out to you to actually get one.
Right. Yeah. So I've talked to different investors, and most common number I get is they look at an actual 100 deals to find about 15 to run numbers on, to look at closely 3 to 5 properties to buy one.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I think the margins are a little tighter than they were a year ago. That's what I'm hearing. That instead of 100, you might have to look at 125 or 150 to find one.
Yeah.
That sound about right?
I mean, I don't know the exact numbers for that, but I do know that it's funny because people are being more cautious, but at the same time, they're seeing better returns, at least here in the Bay Area, because right now, COVID has made it like really hard for sellers to want to sell their properties, but interest rates are really low. And I guess people are leaving like the super urban areas, kind of like San Francisco proper, or like the actual city areas, and moving to places like the East Bay, where you can buy a much larger property for the same price point. And since you don't have to commute in the office every day, they're like, yeah, I'll spend 10% more than asking price to then get this house. So we're seeing a lot of growth in some parts of the Bay Area.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, good. So again, we have an expert here, both in flipping and in hard money lending, experienced in Northern California, knows Southern California. At least he knows the Westwood, apparently, for whatever good that is, and as well as investing in Florida. Who's got questions for podcaster Sean Penn?
Yeah, I have a question. So what does the Sacramento, Fresno area look like? Do you know anything about that?
It's a good question. So I've had Michael Zuber on my podcast a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who he is, but he's also a local Bay Area investor who invests very heavily in Fresno. And similar to here in the Bay Area, he's saying that Fresno is doing really well. And he has tried, just like Bill was saying, where he's sending a lot of letters out, talking to all the agents, and he just cannot get a good deal. So it is very popular over there. And he was thinking that it's because people normally do sell their homes. Again, but because of COVID, they don't want to sell their homes. And he's thinking that maybe in a few months, they'll be more like ready to let go of their property and you'll have more inventory on the market.
Yeah. I think it's hard for sellers today, right? Just mechanically.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you live in the home, like, do you really want people walking in your home to do open houses? Even if you have to go out shopping for a few hours, back, all these people have been in your home. It's kind of weird.
Yeah. Everything I've listed, vacant land or a fire out property or vacant properties, everything sells right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. So it's been a great time for that kind of stuff.
Sure it is.
Good. Other questions for Sean?
Okay, I'll ask one. Sean, when you're buying in Jacksonville, that's a long ways away. How much time, money, effort do you need to put in on a flip or rehab to know you have something that's workable?
Yeah, great question.
That you can afford the cost it takes to do the rehab.
So I haven't done an actual flip in Jacksonville. All my stuff over there are buy and hold properties. But I mean, to one extent, I did buy a property on auction. We went on like auction.com. I knew how much the bank wanted for the property, and we managed to get it for around $40,000. And I was lucky enough to have a property manager over there who had enough connections to like general contractors. So we were able to go in there, fix up the property. But it didn't cost too much. It's surprising. Like a brand new flip here in the Bay Area, it maybe takes me around 75 to 100,000 to do a full reno on like a 1,200 to 1,500 square foot home. But over there, this was a smaller property, maybe 1,000 square feet, but it only cost me $15,000. So, it's definitely a lot cheaper to do all your renovations over there than over here.
Yeah, renovations are cheaper and faster outside California.
Yeah.
Most things are. Good. Other questions for Sean? As I tell you guys all the time, the more you participate, the more money you make. The more questions you ask, more money you make. So this is your chance to talk to an expert. Free shot here. Last chance.
Sean, I have an actual contact for a general contractor painter for the Bay Area that I think you would probably enjoy. If you need more resources, I'd be happy to extend that to you.
Awesome, Nicole. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Are you based in the Bay Area as well?
Actually, I'm from the Bay, but I'm living in LA.
Okay, cool.
I work with Bill. I'm in title now, but I come from I just pay attention to the build as well because have this investor mind. So I like to provide resources. And I just spoke to him and told him that I'm happy to bridge gaps too, because he does really great work and he understands he's doing the same thing for himself. So he knows how to work it for you guys as well.
That's awesome. Thank you, Nicole.
You bet. My pleasure.
A question, Sean?
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Ashley. What are the pros and cons of working with you as a hard money lender versus maybe a direct or private money lender?
Okay. So I personally don't provide private money, but I think what the difference is between hard money lending and like private money lending, hard money lending is kind of like a more institutionalized way to do your funds. So there are still more like guidelines where we do have to kind of fit some of the properties in certain boxes. Whereas private money lending is kind of like asking your parents or your friends for some funds to help you purchase properties. And since they are like your friends or family members, they don't have tight regulations. As long as they trust you, they're able to fund your deal. So definitely it's good as an investor to have both sources. Sometimes, we fund deals, up to like $10 million. I don't think most of your friends would just give you $10 million to do a project. So that's when you need to have both. Yeah.
So like maybe, oh, my screen changed, sorry. So possibly you were saying that you only right now can lend 80% ARV or loan to value. I'm not sure if I got the acronym.
Right. So we can loan 80% LTV. But 80% of the purchase price, basically.
Yeah. So then I can maybe go to a private lender like my friend or family, say, hey, I've got this hard money, but I need the rest of this to be able to put down, and kind of do a combination. If I don't have, I'm in Southern California, $200,000 to put down on a flip.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right. So that's called gap funding. So I know for our company, we don't like that because we want to see that you as a sponsor do have skin in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But what we allow is if you were to partner with your family member per se and say, hey, my partner is the one bringing the money, but as long as your family member or friend is able to sign on the docs with you and is on title with you, then yeah, we could totally accept that.
Okay. That's good information. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And that's commonly what they'll do because they want to protect their money, and that gets them on the title of the property as well, gives them a little more security.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll find some more sophisticated friends and family will provide gap funding, but really they're providing a partnership where
it gives them more incentive to partner in the deal rather than just being a money loan. So
right, and they're getting out of it. They're giving you a higher percentage than you would get cash price because you bought the deal and you're putting some sweat equity and some work in on the deal. Absolutely.
Hey, Bill, I wanted to ask a question if I could.
Go, Paul.
Hi there. I wanted to ask, so if I had a deal that, let's just say I've got like 800 grand in the deal and I've spent $200,000, but I wanted to borrow like another 100,000 finish up funds. Is that a deal that you would fund, or do you prefer to kind of be involved from the very beginning? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, totally understand. We do help people out in those scenarios pretty often, actually. The only caveat is that we want to be in first position. So if you did buy a property for 800,000 and you already have a loan with another lender and you need like an extra 100,000, we don't do just a $100,000 loan. We need to take over your loan and then potentially either do a cash out refi or do like an extension with a construction loan to help you with that to finish your project.
What if me and my partners put in the 800,000 and we don't have a first position loan? We just have a warranty deed because we paid cash essentially. Would you still do a like a finish up type loan? So in other words, as long as you're in first position, whether we're buying 100 or 150, it's not, because you're saying in essence, as long as you're in first position and we have good equity, in this case, we're 100% equity because we paid for it. So you would do that kind of loan then?
Exactly. So it seems like a super safe loan. We would either do a cash out, like you mentioned, or do a rehab loan. But in your case, since you have so much equity in the property, I think a cash out would be better for you because the construction loan side is a little bit more involved. I'm not sure if you've ever done one before, but it involves like draws and feasibility studies, and it is a little bit more complicated than just giving you money right up front.
Yeah, no, I have. And I agree with you. I actually, several times, I used to go through a bank that's no longer around anymore in California. Chase bought them all out, but yeah, they were great. But it was very, like you said, it was very complicated to get extra cash. So if you didn't want to go through the draws and everything like that, and you could go to a guy like yourself who is a hard money guy and say, look, this is my equitable position, and this is where you would be if we were to borrow, say, like 100 or 300 or whatever it was. And it sounds like you kind of work the same way, where as long as you see that there's a good equitable position, then it's just a cash out up front.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So let's see. In the chat box, we got a Daly City native checking in. Jack LaPedis, world famous attorney. Jack, how you doing? Nicole likes that because she's also
good. I'd love to hear about all these people from the Bay Area. Where's everyone from?
I'm from South Bay in LaPedis.
San Mateo.
Oh, okay, that's where my family lives now, is San Mateo and Belmont.
Nice.
And then Andrea Hall asked, do you know much about Stockton in terms of a buy and hold market area, Sean?
Stockton. I mean, I've heard that's a good place. There are people who do loans with us in Stockton as well, and so far they've been very happy with their investments there. But can't really comment on like the market there because I'm not super focused on that northern side of California.
Got it. Okay. And see, Barry Flip support for Reno's, Jason. Okay, so there's a painter. Very good. And wholesale. So one question is, we get to ask this a lot. I don't know the answer. Maybe you can help me, Sean. Wholesalers often look for a title company that will work with them, which I think that means they do a double close. Do you know a title company that does double closes that you recommend here in California?
Yeah, I think First American will do it. But the thing is, it's not just any First American. You want to make sure you work with a specific rep because they know how to go through different holes. I do want to say though, you as a wholesaler, you definitely need to have a few tile companies in your pocket because we had a deal that just closed today, right before this call. But I got extended by 2 weeks because the title company would not give the assignment fee to the wholesaler because they consider it to be like an unlicensed brokerage fee. So, you know, like if you're not an agent, you don't have a broker's license, then you're not supposed to be able to collect fees. And we were like, dude, we do assignments all the time. As a lender, we don't care either. Like, we were cool. But they were just adamant about not doing it. So we had to change different title companies.
Well, I think the issue is if you're a principal in the deal assigning it, then it's different than if you're a third party assigning it, right? If you're principal in the deal, you as a seller, you can pay whoever you want, whatever you want, right? To a licensee.
Right. So I mean, I guess in this scenario, if this was a property that was listed on the MLS, the wholesaler, put in an offer for like $1.3 million for a property and got accepted. And then they wholesold that deal to one of their friends, which is like another LLC. And then everything was cool. Like, the seller was okay with it. Us, the lender was okay with it. But just title would not, grant that $50,000 fee to the wholesaler. So we had to move it along. Yeah. And as a lender, we weren't able to just pay the guy, under the table. We had to go through the process.
Yeah, you get in trouble doing that. So, got it. Okay, good. So Niko, hopefully gives you some things to work on. And either Sean and or Nicole can maybe give some additional info on that. Good.
Yeah, we actually don't do those. So thank you for asking that, because I have people who ask me all the time and I like to give them resources, even if it's not me. I'm trying to keep people moving, So thank you.
So Nicole, while we're here, is there a reason why you guys don't do wholesale?
It's just too much risk and liability as far as that. When I ask, that's the explanation that I get, is that it's just too much risk and liability. Or if someone has remorse or something, I think that's what they're worried about, but I just don't know. They just don't feel comfortable. Pacific Coast Title themselves, they don't feel comfortable. It feels like a liability to them.
Makes sense.
Excellent.
I think they just need more education personally.
Right. So, I guess to Niko's point, like, I guess that's for wholesale, you should have someone at least in your pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anybody who knows that person, feel free to text to me and I'll be glad to be the intermediary next time. And Niko, if you do find an answer that's good or two, please send to me as well. And that way I'll have it for the next person who asks, because I get asked this every 2-3 weeks and I wish I had an answer for you. I just don't really have anybody.
And then they come to me, Bill. So thank you. So also get it to me if you can. I would appreciate that.
Yeah, Nicole was the first person I called when I had a potential contract, and
I sent her to Alex Camacho.
The contract never got signed, but I was just trying to make sure I had my people lined up, and I never.
Lawyer's Title. If you guys need a friendly title company that will do assignments and all that, Lawyer's Title will do it.
Lawyer's Title.
Do you have a particular rep you work with, Priya?
Good to know.
Can you type that in the chat so that we can make sure we spell it correctly?
Yeah. I work with a couple of them. Lawyer's Title, and they downtown or OC. I mean, we do it all the time with them. We do double closes, we do assignments, we do all of that stuff, and they're open to it. They're open to it.
Like lawyer as an attorney.
Right.
Lawyer's title.
LAWYERS.
Okay.
And when Puya says he does it all the time, he does it all the time, all day long. Every day he does it. They're for real.
We did one with Bill. Bill helped us out on one as well.
That was some easy money. Can I just tell you guys, I think the easiest money I made last year was a friend of mine who was an agent at a property off market and showed it to me. And I talked to Puya about a listing of mine that I couldn't get to him, but it was like that property. And I called and said, hey, would you like this? And he said, yeah. And he wrote an offer, sight unseen, and we closed in 2 or 3 weeks and I got paid. So it was about $550 or so purchase price. So it wasn't insubstantial.
572.
Huh?
572.
572. To be honest, I didn't even look at the paper. It went so fast. I just got the check, deposited it, and moved on. So definitely Pooh's a real buyer on this kind of stuff.
That's how it is. That's how it is working with me.
Hey, all you guys on this call, if you're ever interested in pitching a particular property, feel free. I ask you to send it to me ahead of time. That way I can put up on the screen and share it and walk people through the deals. So if you ever have a property you're looking to wholesale, you have under contract, or you have a listing that's off market, send to me. I'm more glad to pass that through. Okay, hey, Sean's been very generous with his time here, a little more than I asked him for. So any last questions while we have him before we let him go? I only paid for 30 minutes, so I don't want to get an overage on that bill.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Sean.
But Sean, hey, thanks so much, man. It was great to catch up. I heard you on a podcast, I think, and or somewhere along the line. And I called you right away, and you're real nice to offer to come on here. So you're our first real celebrity podcaster on this group call. So thank you so much for your help today. And somebody wants more info, Sean, wants to follow you on your podcast, where would they find you?
Yeah, so you can find me online. My website is everythingrei.com, or the Everything Real Estate Investing Show on Apple, iTunes, or on Spotify. And if you want, I'll type in my contact information in the chat box so you guys can reach out to me if you guys have any more questions.
Fantastic. Please do. So everythingrei.com is the website. And there it is. Very nice. And feel free to reach out to him and follow his podcast. It's right there. Wow, boom, right there in the middle of his website. So that's what a real marketer podcast guy looks like when they're serious about this stuff. So again, Sean, thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Anybody else have any I have a couple things to present real quick, but anybody have any properties they want to present today? I don't think I have any, no?
Well, I have one. I don't know if you can. So this is
hold on one second. Just notice though, the one guy with a property to pitch is the big producer here. Just notice that. You all should have something to talk about. Go ahead, Sean. Thank you.
I get people who inquire about deals or who send me deals every once in a while, so I can just branch it out. But this one is a deal in Palo Alto. It is one of those old homes that need to be demolished and basically reconstructed. But plans and permits are already approved. And this one's purchase price is for $2.35 million, and the ARV is around for $4 million. So it's pretty rich. But if you guys want to do something up in Palo Alto, definitely feel free to reach out.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. A couple of things I want to share with you guys today. I get asked a lot about for people who want to get started in wholesaling. I don't really have the tools or the program. One of my best friends is Tarek El Moussa. I coached him a long time ago when he started out in that's a Century 21 Masters. He has a program called Homeschooled, and this Saturday he has a live training. It's only $97. So if you're interested, it's from 10 to 4 Pacific time this Saturday. I'm sure it's recorded for those of you who don't want to go on a Saturday. Click here. I'll put the link in the chat box at the end with my contact info. But Tarek El Moussa is a top real estate professional. He's the star of Flip or Flop TV along with his ex-wife Christina. He produces TV on real estate investment. He's also a colleague of mine at EXP Realty. Does a fantastic job. $97 for about 5 hours. Gives a lot of resources. Obviously, they present you then another level if you want to join. But I think you'll get a lot of value just out of that one program on Saturday. Property I have off market, 302 West 73rd Street. There's a probate sale coming up. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square foot house. It's actually
confirmation. Does that require confirmation, Bill?
It does require court confirmation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I don't think it's for you. But for anybody else who might be interested in learning about going to probate court and buying property that requires court information, this property is in escrow, but you have a chance to overbid. It's the sale price is $610, $612 would be the overbid price. 69. This is the property on the right, not the one on the left. 6,900 square foot lot, nice size lot in 90043. I have the ARV at about $800,000 if you upgrade the inside of the property and do the landscaping and such. So if you're interested in that property, see me. And then third thing I wanted to present was that? Oh, who's interested in commercial real estate? I'm a real estate agent with EXP. We have a all-inclusive 5-day event, including a 3-day certification for a commercial real estate agent. No cost. If you're an agent here in the area, you have to be a real estate agent, you have to have a license. So if you're interested, I have a couple free passes because I have people coming from my team. This program will be online within our EXP auditorium. So it's a virtual program, Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, and it includes a National Commercial Real Estate Association certification as a commercial real estate agent. So if you're a realtor interested in that, see me, and I have a couple free tickets left for that. Be glad to share with you guys.
Is that Michael Simpson, Bill?
No, this is EXP Commercial. So EXP Realty is the fastest growing real estate company in the world, 40,000 realtors nationwide. We just launched EXP Commercial, which is our sister company. It's a virtual first company. We already have 400 commercial realtors. It's our standard program, 80% split, with a great cap, stock ownership, and revenue share if you're interested as an agent. One of the fascinating parts of this is our EXP Commercial, if you want CoStar nationwide, $500 a month. CoStar, if you're a commercial agent, is kind of like the MLS, and agents typically pay about $1,400 a month or share it in their office. But here you have a chance to get in.
The NCREA is Michael Simpson.
He's the certification program. Correct?
Yeah, I love that. That's what I meant. And that's awesome.
This hosted through EXP Commercial.
Yeah, that's exciting.
I think he used to be at Keller Williams. I think he's now with EXP.
He did. That's great. That's a great asset. Awesome.
Yeah. So we launched that EXP Commercial. That's a big deal for us. And if you're interested in that, if you have your licensed agent participate, I have a couple of free passes left. If you're interested, come see me on that. That said, I don't have anything else. Anybody else have anything else they want to present or share with our group? I put my contact info in the text box, the link to the TARC program as well, and then my link if you want some more good stuff. Anything else?
Bill, go ahead.
Yeah, Paul.
I mean,
no, I think someone else beat me.
I came up in a little bit late, but I mean, what I can say right now is the market right now in LA is just in Southern California. I mean, pretty much nationwide, but I mean, I have boots on the ground in Los Angeles. It's just like crazy. Yeah. People are overbidding. People are going up. I mean, areas are setting records one after another. I mean, there's areas that 5-10 years ago that values were selling. I mean, I sold a house in Park Mesa Heights, which is Slauson and La Brea neighborhood, for like $375. That same house is selling for $875. No joke. So if you guys are questioning whether or not you should go through with an offer, just go for it. I mean, like today, I have an offer out in like the K-Town, Larchmont part of town, a little bit on the higher end. I'm questioning whether I should go through with it or not. I just talked to a client. I was like, dude, if you have something, like, we're hot and we're looking for properties. So if you're on the verge, go for it. Right now is the time. I don't know how long it's going to last, but if you're questioning it, it might be a matter of like $5, $10, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, depending on the price point. I would just go for it.
You know, at probate court, we had earlier in the call, Carmen Caudillo was in court with me today, and in her hearing, they had 7 parties to overbid on one property. I was in a different hearing. We had 2 overbidders on a property today. So there's definitely things that just picked up in the last week. You can just feel the holidays ended last week, and people gotten serious this week. Definitely an increase in the intensity. So thank you for sharing that. Anybody else
Sure.
have anything you want to pitch or share? Paul, you have something?
Yeah, thanks, Bill. So next week I am going to. It's a group of exchangers that we meet out in Vegas 4 times a year. And if just wanted to mention, if someone is looking for an upleg to a 1031, there is quite a bit of property with really nice cap rate. If anyone has a client in need of something, reach out to me. My information's in the chat box. All product type, retail, multifamily. In some cases, there's some income producing multi-tenant commercial. So if you know of anyone who, they want to pull the trigger, or they're near pull the trigger, or maybe they pull the trigger and they need a 1031, they need an upleg, then reach out to me, because between my group, we'll find it. We'll definitely find it. So thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So anybody else have anything you would share before we wrap up? No? Jack, how
Well,
did I'm sorry, Carmen,
yeah, what was the first property you had pitched, Bill?
302 West 73rd Street. That one?
The one before that? Or was that the first one?
I think it was the first one. I think it's the only one.
Okay.
I mentioned a commercial work, commercial certification program. I mentioned a wholesale program, and then property on 73rd Street. But
Okay.
you should talk. I got some other property you talked about, Carmen.
Okay.
We should do some business.
All right.
Thank
Sounds
you, Nicole, offering title, Pacific Coast title, always a resource for us. Thank you so much.
I also included Jason is the color craftsman. That is the general contractor for Sean or anyone else doing anything in the Bay Area that needs a rehab. Like I said, he understands and he'll work with the cost as best he can.
Great. Thank you so much.
Bill, what were you asking?
Well, I was going to ask you a question, but now that you have your offensive billboard, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to hope to block you out, actually. Wow, Jack, you're really making a statement there, Jack.
Yeah, so my sister and my nephew, my father-in-law went to UCLA. My brother and my dad went to Cal. I went to UCI. I have a nephew and a niece at Michigan. I went to Pepperdine, and my daughter's at Elon. So that's why I got all that.
Well, I'm down with Pepperdine and Elon, but the rest really could do without. So
UCI, what's wrong with UCI? Come on.
Very offensive. UCI, okay, but yeah, UCLA, very offensive, Jack. I'm offended. Okay, and I think that's actual hate speech now. I think now I throw you off, or you're banned my call for life or something. I don't know how it's supposed to.
You know what? This triggers people more.
That one does trigger people down here in LA. Yeah, I'm a Kings fan, but the other ones are.
Yeah, I was in college when Gretzky got traded to the Kings, and the Sharks didn't exist. So I'm not a Bay Area, I'm not a Bay Area hockey fan, but otherwise.
I went to the Stanley Cup Finals, one of the games when Wayne Gretzky was with the Kings, and I've been to a lot of sporting events. I don't think I've seen anything as exciting as watching that Stanley Cup Final. He was overmatched because they're playing the Canadians. But he was absolutely amazing to watch. Just really something special.
I was in Cabo San Lucas watching the tape on the stick McSorley game.
I saw that on TV too. Yeah, that was disappointing.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Enough lamenting about hockey in Los Angeles. Thank you everybody for participating. We do this again every week, Tuesday at 3:00. Thanks for being on. Any deals, questions, call me, Bill Gross, 310-210-0008. Thank you for everybody. Appreciate you. And Sean, thank you again.
Thanks, Bill.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bill. See you, everybody.
Sean.
Stay safe, everyone, and well.
Okay, let's see.
Didn't the Warriors beat the Lakers last night?
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Bill.
Yep. Pooh, what's up?
How you doing?
Good. Long time no talk. You mute yourself. Hold on.
I saw the notification. I was like, I gotta visit Bill. I've been wanting to come through. It's just Wednesday at this time. It's very busy time for me. So, I mean,
Okay.
just right now, I had like 3 calls coming in, and I was just doing a little bit of work on the computer as well. So, but who is that guy? Is that like somebody who does podcasts on wholesaling?
Yeah. Yeah, I met him.
Oh.
He's with EXP, Northern California, hard money lender. And just, I know somebody knows him. I just reached out to him and said, hey, would you come on my call? He said, yeah. So there he was.
Oh, I see. Nice.
Yeah. Nothing more than that, really.
I got a bit late, but how was it?
I think good. He's a good guy. We're being recorded here, so I got to be careful of this. Hold on.
I can call you.
Yeah, we should. I'm going to end the live here.